Hi crafty friends, Shana from ShanoukiArt. In today's episode of my big fat pink journal, I'm going to be adding some texture paste. Let me show you this quick and easy and effective way to add mixed media to your junk journal, making each page unique. I need to find a pretty plain page in my junk journal. I want to find one that has no background pattern, just a plain coffee stained page. I'm going to work on this one near the back of the book. The page on the right is a little busy with some print, but we can worry about that in a later episode. I have removed that tag and paperclip for now, just so that there's no lumps and bumps underneath this page. I'm putting a protective piece of paper in the corner, and then I'm going to apply a small amount of texture paste with my palette knife through the stencil. Any stencil design would work for this. I'm using the one I'm going to be using throughout my journal for continuity. We don't want to fill the entire page, just this corner section is enough to apply an effective amount of texture. You'll need to dry this really well. We're then going to apply some color. I love using distress ink for it because of the chalky finish it leaves, but I can also use acrylic paint and also watercolor. I will show you all three on this page. Although this is my big fat pink journal, I am using some green because there are some green accents throughout my journal and it creates a good contrast. Applying a bit of water to the acrylic paint to water it down. With a paintbrush, I apply it to the edge of the page. I then use a small spray bottle with water and spray that, and you can see how the paint then moves down along the page in between the grooves of the texture. This is now a watercolor. It is a metallic watercolor and it's a slightly darker green, so it actually is creating a really nice effect. I'm applying it with the same method. I don't have this color in a liquid form, so I just use the ink pad by pressing it onto an acrylic block. I then spray some water and then I use my paintbrush and apply it the same way. And I really like the way this has turned out with the different tones of green. Now this specific journal, my big fat pink journal, is just a reference journal. So at the end, when we're all done, every single page will have a different technique on it, or a different kind of decoration or embellishment. But if I was giving this journal as a gift, if I was keeping it for myself or perhaps even selling it, I would take this technique, for example with a texture paste, and apply it to 2 or 3 pages in the journal to create that continuity. So I believe to create a journal that flows, you need to repeat elements. I also made a few splashes just to extend that green color. I'm going to add a very small embellishment in the top left of the page to create some balance. I have a piece of washi tape that has vintage text on it, and then I'm using a piece of pink cardstock that I've used somewhere else in the journal, and this green and white label. As a side note, I love this watery effect it's created in the middle of the page. I will show you a close-up at the end of the video. I'm not going to add too much because then it's going to get too busy. And when I stick these down, if there's excess, I sort of just stick it over to the other page. And this label is a little skew. I'm just going to straighten that up first. And then apply the washi tape. Also putting the excess to the back page. I'm using a piece of double-sided tape for the scrapbook paper. And I'm still thinking if I'm going to use this butterfly. I will prepare it in the meantime. I'm just going to trim off the excess. It is a sticker and there is some excess all the way around. I like to sort of cut it down to the wing edge. I feel that light pink spotty paper is getting a little lost, so I'm going to add a small piece of green just behind it to help bring it forward. And I feel it needs something darker just to help with contrast, so I'm going to add a little sentiment. It's a black sticker with white text and it's going to go over the pink spotty paper. And then I wasn't quite sure if I wanted the butterfly there, so I actually called my daughter to ask her if she thinks it should be added or if it should be left off. So she asked me to place it and remove it and place it and remove it. And eventually she said it looks empty without it. We should put the butterfly. So I've added the butterfly. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of my Big Fat Pink Journal and were inspired to create your own. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching. Happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.